me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine.
Welcome to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. Every year, this series grows. It's a great sign of innovation happening on campuses across our state. It also means students want to stay here, open a business, and create some jobs. And that's why it's so important to promote them, connect them, and give them cash to invest in their companies. And we have some great people to help them do that, our judges. So based on what you've seen so far in the series, what is standing out to you? Let's start with you, Tom Kittredge from Maine Technology Institute.
Thanks, it's great to be back again today. You know, something I've really loved to see is I think all the problems that our contestants have identified so far have been deeply personal to them. And I think having that passion for the problem that you're seeking to solve is really key to being successful as an entrepreneur. So that's been great.
They have a lot of passion, that's for sure. Okay, Rich Brooks from Flight New Media, what do you think?
Yeah, I think just to build on that is they've done an excellent job in identifying some real needs in their community and building a business around it, which is how all great businesses start.
And Scott Blake from Bangor Savings Bank.
Yeah, and they're staying focused, right? They're in a niche where and the saying is, in the niches is where the riches are, right? So that's exactly the right spot to be.
I love that. The riches are in the niches, for sure. Okay, we're going to talk to you in just a few minutes. It's time now to hear our first pitch, which comes to us from the University of Southern Maine. We have Jacob Curtis with Refilla, and you are doing your part to save the planet.
Awesome.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Curtis, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Refilla. I love 3D printing. The capabilities of 3D printing are virtually limitless. If you can think it, you can print it. As a student at the University of Southern Maine, I see 3D printing every single day. This made me realize a major problem that exists in 3D printing. After just one single print of an object, you're more than likely to create waste. In fact, if you're like 81% of consumers, this will happen to you every single time. This revolutionary technology is growing right here at home in Maine. For example, you might have seen UMaine's launch of the fully 3D printed house. That's amazing. There are plenty of other applications that utilize 3D printing, including aerospace, medical, manufacturing, housing, and maybe even in your own home. With the rapid growth of the 3D printing industry, this generated waste isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so we had to act now. At Refilla, we're able to turn this 3D printed plastic waste into a Refilla recycled spool. We believe in a future where 3D printing is highly sustainable. We also want everyone to have access to this affordable solution. Our mission is to connect Maine manufacturers, Maine households, Maine businesses, and Maine schools with a subscription service of collecting 3D printed plastic waste and distributing recycled Refilla filament. Let's face it, 3D printing creativity shouldn't be bounded. With our new solution, Refilla, the sky is the limit. 3 months ago, Refilla was just an idea. You could even say it was a dream. What I have here today is the reality. My team and I, composed of experienced engineering and business students, have been working tirelessly to create a consistent sample to engage consumers and hear feedback on the results. With your help and the support from Greenlight Maine, we'd be able to invest in newer technology and move out of our current space in the lab to our own facility to keep production rolling. So what do you say? With our partnership, we're going to save the earth one roll at a time. Thank you.
Excellent. So what do you say, judges? Let's start with you, Tom.
First, excellent pitch. That was great and really fascinating. I think it's I love the mission-oriented nature of it. I'm curious, as somebody who's not very familiar with 3D printing, what sort of resources in terms of energy are needed to take plastic and turn it into the spool? You know,
Yes.
how much would that energy would that consume?
So we utilize a Filabot machine, so that's around 600 kilowatt hours. But compared to other conventional manufacturers, we're really cutting the energy, electricity down. And plus, people can use our filament just a prototype. They can utilize it if they're just printing at high volumes. And so, this is something that over the long run is going to save a lot of energy and costs. So.
Great.
Rich.
Again, great pitch, great idea. I'm wondering about the size of the market. Is this something, obviously we hear a lot of talk about 3D printing, but I haven't gone into a friend's house and seen a 3D printer there. So tell me a little bit about the opportunity.
Thank you. So the size of the market right now is valued at $13 billion. and the compounded annual growth rate is at 20.8%. And so by the year of 2030, we're seeing a $71 billion market value, and 3D printing plastics alone are going to reach $1.3 billion within the next 1 or 2 years. So it's a huge market, and there's plenty of waste out there.
Scott?
Great. I'm curious about the transportation. So how will the buckets of collections get back to you? How will the spools go back to the people? Is that going to be standard shipping? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so our model is a subscription-based service where you can just opt into a payment. You send your plastic into a box, ship it out, comes to our facility, we recycle it, and send it back within the same week. We're really trying to get that high amount of consumer model so everyone can have access to it, not just manufacturers or schools, but anyone that's at their household printing. They can just send it in and not worry about the plastic waste ending up in the trash landfills.
I'm curious about the quality of the final product when you recycle it. Is it the same quality as the initial spool?
Yes, after a few attempts. Over the longevity, we do mix in a little bit of virgin pellets, but we still get that major consistency. We do take pride in and we do take a lot of time at creating a consistent sample because we really don't want to send you a sample that may not work out in the end. But so far, our samples have been fairly well, as you can see.
Rich?
Is there a difference between the plastic used in 3D printing and regular plastic? Like, why is this only for 3D plastic and not all the other types of plastic we have in our homes?
Yes. So the plastic that's utilized in homes, like water bottles and other household goods, a little bit harder to recycle. But right now, our MVP is really focused on the filament that we know that goes through the 3D printer, so we know that it can print. And we're also looking to other avenues as well.
We got time for one more question.
I'll try to make it quick. So the volume in the subscription model is the thing I'm thinking about. As a home 3D printer, I don't produce that much waste. Subscription seems like it might be a little much. Where's the break-even point for how much you have to produce for the subscription to make sense?
Yeah, so with our model, you can produce as much as waste, and we're only going to charge approximately $20 per month for every household. So it's just as much as you want to produce, we can send that back in and just keep moving forward. Manufacturers, though, they're very proprietary, so a lot of their waste is very unique, and so we deal with them on a contract-by-contract basis. But as far as you as a hobbyist or someone that loves to 3D print, you can opt in and you can just print as much as you want at high volumes, as much as you would like to.
All right, those are some great questions and some really good answers. You're really far in your process, so congratulations to you. All right, we have to take a short break. We have Eastern Maine Community College on deck, and a community in Maine is going to be enriched by a coffee roaster. Don't go away. We're going to have a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. All right, come on over.
Bangor Savings Bank, committed to investing in its employees, customers, and communities to help create a stronger Northern New England. Bangor Savings Bank. You matter more.
Maine Technology Institute, offering grants, loans, and equity investments to help support Maine's innovation economy and committed to supporting new ideas with potential to grow. Visit mainetechnology.org. Hey Maine, how are you? Yes, you. How are you really? It's a question we rarely ask ourselves. But to Northern Light Health, how you are means a lot. Learn more at northernlighthealth.org/howareyou.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine, the college edition. Who doesn't love a good cup of coffee? This next company has the grit to make it great. Welcome Nedra Smith from Eastern Maine Community College. Your company is called Woodwind Coffee Roasters, and we can just smell the brew already.
Thank you. So good morning. My name is Nedra, and I represent Woodwind Coffee Roasters. That is comprised of myself and my mother. We're a mother-daughter startup in Dover Foxcroft. So our town is smallish. There's not a lot of competition there, as I mentioned before. So we would be the only coffee roasters in town. Nearest to us would be the Bangor area or Millinocket. So we feel like this is a great place to start our company. We're going to be using a San Francisco 6 small batch roaster. So that's produced by the San Francisco Coffee Company. They've got a lot of resources and a lot of education out there for us to learn how to start our business and use their products. These create 6 pounds at a time. At capacity, we'd probably roast 4 at a time. And we really want to focus on an exceptional cup of coffee. So 85 points or higher would be the cupping points that we want from our green beans, and then various origins. So yep, the smell would definitely be prevalent. So in terms of what we've done so far, we have gone to North Carolina, my mother and I, and learned how to roast on these specific machines. The one that we've ordered is in production now and will be arriving in February, so that's really exciting. They're beautiful, black and chrome. They just look so sensational, so we're really excited to get started. What we're going to do is invest in a couple other items. So the small batch roaster was approximately a $24,000 investment, so that's our starting point. We also need an espresso machine, which is going to run between $4,000 and $10,000. So that's primarily my pitch here, is getting any help for that, that specific piece of equipment, because that money would go really far for us. We also need a storefront location, which we're investigating right now, and that's a whole other thing. And let's see, so we wanted startup for a year. And I believe that our cost totaling the first year of startup would be around $50,000. So that's our goal, and we're trying to find the different means necessary to reach that financial goal. We believe that we'll be able to turn that around within a fiscal year, which is also really exciting when we run those numbers. A little bit more about Dover Foxcroft, where we live. That is a town that I think is just so special, because before COVID, there were all of these big investments made in the town, and COVID quickly shut everything down and muted the indoor space. There's a very large ice rink right there, which is now going to be used by UMO, hockey team, all the different surrounding towns can go to this ice rink. So it's huge, and they just were able to reopen. With all those families coming into town for that specific reason, right there we just see an amazing opening. Also, FA is a private high school, and they just invested $7 million in a field house. So these are 2 large buildings that are directly next door to one another, and these are people that are going to want good coffee. You know, these are families of high school students playing sports, hockey, and we want to provide a service. So we really see that that's an excellent jump-off point.
That's excellent, Nedra. I mean, Foxcroft Academy is such a great school, a beautiful community, and you definitely know the coffee business.
Thank you.
All right, Tom, kick us off.
Amazing pitch, and as somebody who deeply loves coffee, I think it's amazing you want to bring it to Foxcroft, Dover Foxcroft. My question is just, what is your vision 10 years from now? Where would you like this business to go? Do you see yourself scaling beyond that area?
Yeah, so that's where we live right now, and for lots of good reasons, we think it's a great location to get going. But we're also from the coast of Maine, and we'd love to be able to expand. We want to stay basically local in Maine, but I think in the next 5 years, we plan on going more coastal and spanning out that direction. But yeah, Maine, just Maine coffee, good coffee.
Rich.
So I guess the question for me is, like, why coffee? You mentioned you and your mom went on a little journey to learn how to roast it.
Yeah.
Where did this passion come from?
Yeah, so I can attribute that to my mother. This is really her vision. She is a teacher in the arts right now, but she'll be retiring at some point soon, and we want to transition her into a different form of art. So this is something she's really passionate about. She really cares about quality coffee, and through her, so do I. So we're gonna teamwork this, and division of labor at first will just be the 2 of us, but I do expect to need hired help pretty soon, because I think it's gonna grow quickly.
Great teamwork. Scott.
I'm super curious about the coffee itself. Are you working with farmers? Have you started to identify bean sources? Are you going to focus on single origin versus blends? I'm a coffee fan.
Sure,
too.
I'm glad that you know what you're talking about. So we want to stay organic, fair trade. That's really important. Eco-friendly products and a sustainable business model that it's hard to explain quickly, but as long as we're working with co-ops that have the organic brand, we know that those people that are actually the farmers are being treated fairly. So we're only going to work with those people, and we need, brokers, basically. There's coffee brokers for that. So
great job, Nedra.
Thank you.
We have to take a short commercial break. We could talk about coffee all day long because it's so good, but we'll be right back after these messages. Come on over.
Through their efforts to support Maine entrepreneurs who are growing our economy, Greenlight Maine is making our state a better place to start and operate a business. For these efforts and the creation of a robust entrepreneurial ecosystem, the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College is proud to be a sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
FAME came along at a time when we really needed somebody to believe in our mission.
It's so nice to have somebody actually try to understand what we're doing.
FAME helps Maine businesses and lenders get to yes for their financing needs.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
Martins Point Generations Advantage, offering comprehensive Medicare Advantage plans. Information at martinspoint.org.
Welcome back to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. It's time for our judges to talk this out. We have two very different companies, but both have so much to offer. Let's start with Refilla, just because Jacob pitched first. And let's talk about their opportunities, Tom.
Well, I think they have such a clear sense of mission and purpose, and I love their environmental focus and the fact they want to address waste and really reuse these plastic items. So I thought that was amazing, and the fact that they had already had a prototype was very cool to see.
Rich.
I think they also did their homework in terms of how big this market is going to be. And it is growing, and I see more and more when I go to Amazon or even local stores, seeing more of these 3D printers out there. So there is a lot of opportunity here that they can tap into.
Yeah, I'm sure eventually everybody's going to own a 3D printer, right? It's just one of those items that people are going to want to have.
Yeah.
It's a super established model. Actually, when I was a kid, my father was stationed in Japan, and there was a guy who came around and collected paper recycling in the neighborhood and then traded in toilet paper, actually. But it's the same kind of model. You give in your plastic scraps and you get back usable stuff.
Yes, very, environmentally friendly, very socially responsible. Okay, let's switch to Nedra, because Woodwind Coffee Roasters. Definitely had a great business plan. You guys spend a lot of time off camera learning about their company. She's going to be in business with her mom. They call themselves Team Woodwind, so they have a lot of passion about this coffee.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think she's looking to bring high quality coffee to a part of the state where there's fewer options. So I think it's amazing just that there's a market opportunity there for her to really get there and provide a great cup of coffee.
I think that some of the strengths here is how well she seemed to know her numbers, and the fact that they had already done a lot of the research. They had a lot of plans in place, and it was just about taking that to the next level. So I think the foundation is really there.
Coffee is one of those things that everybody loves, unless they're tea drinkers, sorry. But lots of people like coffee, and there's an opportunity, I think, for a higher end cup to be out there. There's not much in that market space, I don't think.
Right, absolutely. Okay, switching gears now, let's talk about challenges they both might be facing.
Great, yeah. I think for Refilla, the numbers are going to be really important to get down, and their pricing related to that to make it valuable for consumers to want to go ahead and use the service. So really fine-tuning those numbers and making sure that the business opportunity and the model works is going to be very crucial.
I think that some of the challenges they're going to face is it's difficult to get consumers to change behavior. So it's very easy for people to just throw away their models that they're doing with a 3D printer. It's going to be more challenging to get them to change their behaviors on that.
Good point.
Yeah. Yes, although I do think having the next step of the product, getting the spool back, will be helpful for that, as long as it's of good enough quality. And I think that might be a piece that they'll need to make sure that the engineering is good and that spool that comes back is going to be good enough.
Right, because if they don't, they're going to lose business right off the bat.
Exactly.
Yes, quality is important. Okay, now we can talk about Nedra.
I think the proof is going to be in the pudding, or I guess the proof is going to be the cup of coffee. How is the quality there, and is the consistency there? Are they able to make the same quality all across the board? So that'll be what we need to see.
I feel that I'm curious to see how they're going to expand. And we talked about it off camera, there's a lot of opportunities there, but trying to make those decisions can be challenging, and there's risk in each one, whether you're selling directly to restaurants or you start opening more stores or even a food truck. Everyone comes with a certain amount of risk, and they're going to have to make that decision.
Right, it's like, what distribution channel do they want to take?
Well, I think that's the challenge in some cases, is there's so much opportunity for that product. Which ways do you focus? Where is the biggest bang for the buck going to be initially? Is it in the brewed cup? Is it in the bean sales? Is it in the food truck? Is it in the restaurant distribution? There's so many opportunities there. It can be rough to choose one, and the first one you pick has to be the one that pays off, at least to some extent.
Absolutely. You guys have seen a lot of pitches this week. What do you look for?
I think for me, just the fact that they've gone out and conducted customer discovery. Have they talked to prospective customers, gotten feedback, and used that to validate some of their key assumptions?
I would agree with that. And just finding that problem or that opportunity that exists out there and creating a business around it, that really shows to me that they've thought through this process.
To me, it's really the bringing together of those two things. Right? Starting a business is hard. There's going to be really difficult times when you go through that process, and you have to have the passion for the product or the business to carry through that difficulty and execute on it effectively.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta really love what you're doing. The passion has gotta show through when they pitch. You guys have to find that sort of like, wow, that hook, right? Mm-hmm. So that you can say, I can see them just not giving up and having the grit to move it forward.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And being able to explain it to the judges or to an investor they may be talking to as well.
You got it. Keep it simple, right? Less is more.
Or maybe the bank if they want to borrow.
Or the bank. That's right. You can't forget your banker. All right, great discussion. We have to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our winner, so don't go away. If you own a business and want to get more involved with Greenlight Maine, go to our website at greenlightmaine.com. Partnering with us means supporting startups, creating jobs, and building Maine's economy.
Maine Technology Institute, offering grants, loans, and equity investments to help support Maine's innovation economy and committed to supporting new ideas with potential to grow. Visit mainetechnology.org.
Albin, Randall, and Bennett, committed to providing accounting solutions to Greenlight Maine startups, working with businesses and organizations that operate locally and nationally. ARBCPA.com.
Bangor Savings Bank, committed to investing in its employees, customers, and communities to help create a stronger northern New England. Bangor Savings Bank. You matter more.
A lot of celebrity entrepreneurs nowadays want us to believe that they are self-made. However, the truth of the matter is that in order to have reached some level of breakout success, it probably took a lot of people along the way helping them out. No, these people may not have been business partners working by their side per se, but they probably included accountants, lawyers, bankers, and even local officials who help them get from one level to the next. In fact, the most successful entrepreneurs know how to build a team of people as part of their business. They understand that other people offer leverage of time, knowledge, and expertise to the effort. However, the challenge for most entrepreneurs is for them to understand when to stop going it alone and start bringing on other people. The obvious answer to the question of when to do this is when technology automation is no longer able to increase the entrepreneur's efficiency. At that point, it's time to bring on help. The incredible thing about the time that we live in is that it's no longer required that an entrepreneur hire employees as their first move to bring on help. Instead, they now can easily access amazing talent from all around the world in any discipline at the touch of a button through any one of the professional freelancing platforms. Entrepreneurs now have the ability to assemble a team at any time for any project that they want.
Welcome back to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. We just met two companies, Refilla from USM and Woodwind Coffee Roasters from Eastern Maine Community College. There's no doubt they both have what it takes to run a successful business. But it's time to find out the judges' choice. Judges, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And that means Refilla gets the green light and is moving on in the competition. Congratulations to Jacob. You made an amazing pitch. Well, that's going to do it for us. We appreciate all your comments and feedback, so please keep it coming. You can check out all of our episodes on our website at greenlightmaine.com, and we have a lot of resources if you or someone you know would like to start a business. We'll see you right back here next week. Have a super successful week. Congratulations, Jacob. Yeah, come on over.
Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Furniture for Greenlight Maine is provided by Chilton, a Maine company offering a modern take on traditional New England wood furniture. Hotel accommodations for Greenlight Maine are provided by Hilton Garden Inn, Auburn, Riverwatch.